Okay, we were talking about the value drivers of maximizing the value of your business and the importance of that, both from just running your company, whether you ever intend to sell it, or if you're going to turn it over to Joe and let him help you sell it. And we're not going to talk about all of them. But one of the ones that you
Can
actually...
I jump in right here? Because the truth is they probably ought to use us both at the same time.
Well,
just because I'm listening to business doesn't mean they can't keep working on it.
I keep telling you that, but
Okay.
you never agree with me. But anyway,
Exactly.
You mentioned recurring revenue. That is probably the biggest thing a business could do, and sometimes it's the most difficult thing to do, is to create a business model that creates recurring revenue. And by that I mean, and in the material that I use, there's like 8 different examples. But think of the original cell phone contract. When you signed up for a cell phone contract, you were locked in for 3 years. And think about if you were going to turn and sell that cell phone business immediately. Whoever buys it knows they've got 3 years worth of income, so that's recurring revenue. And then you've got some, the only example I can think of at the moment would be someone that does disaster recovery things, cleans up storm damage or water pipe burst or something like that. You're only as good as the last job you found, and you have to increase your business, you got to find more jobs. There's no way to contractually get recurring revenue. And this was so important that this author I mentioned, John Warrillow, that wrote the book Built to Sell, also wrote another book called Automatic Customer, which if anyone is interested in coming up with a subscription model for their business, he claims that it doesn't matter what your business is, you can come up with something that's going to create recurring revenue. Now, maybe something you don't want to do, but anyway, there's 6 different models he uses, because the reason he wrote another book is he said he should have spent more time on this particular driver of value because it's so important. Now, what do you got to say about that, Mr. Joe?
That's a new direction for business and small business, and it's starting to get easier because, quite frankly, this is something that used to be held out only for the large, huge, respectable companies. I'm only going to trust AT&T with a subscription, not and Charlotte Observer with a subscription, not small little Joe's coffee shop down the street. Mm-hmm. But that's changing, and that's also changing because of technology. So you and I have helped some clients come up with some different things, and it's really kind of interesting. We've even had some on the show that a craft woman that will send you a craft once a month.
That's right.
On a subscription.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a lot of unique and different things. I like this one a lot. It's not easy. I bet you it's going to require them to get in touch with somebody like you to help them with this. This is almost like franchising your business, in that you've got to have this systematic approach, this process to be able to come up with a system that works.
If you're serious about it, you're going to have to be pretty open-minded and creative too sometimes.
Yes. So it's not easy to do, but it absolutely is very substantial, and it creates tremendous value for your business. Let me give you an example. A business that's got a subscription attached to it might get a multiple of 4 or 5, sometimes 6 times their cash flow, where with no subscription, it might be a multiple of 2 or 3. So you can almost double the value of your business if enough of your sales are subscription based. So he's dead on something right there.
Yeah, and I would add, if you said it up front, just look around. It's becoming very, very a big focus for a lot of businesses, big and small. You think about the software that you used to buy, in a package, and you install it and you use it. Now you have a monthly fee. It's in the cloud. It provides updates, and you always have access to it. So that's what they're doing. They're creating a recurring subscription model.
And adding value to the customer as well. And that's what you have to think about. What is the value we can add? Okay,
now the last thing that I'm going to talk about, and this will shock you. It's called hub and spoke. So think of a hub and spoke, a wheel, and the hub being the business owner.
You don't want to draw a picture or something?
Well, you can. If you can't draw a mental picture of hub and spoke, then I'm going to come over
right here. Okay,
hit you
what
over
you want
the
me to do with it?
Yeah, draw it.
All
well, the hub is the business owner, and so the concept is it's all about the business owner, and what you want to do is not make the business all about you. You with me?
This is like number 1.
You're looking at me like you're in the clouds or something.
Well, I'm still trying to think of the wheel thing, but okay. All right.
All right, so you're not a model guy. Anyway,
okay.
The point is, if Susie's Bakery If everyone comes in because they want to deal with Susie, and Susie's the only one that knows how to bake everything, and she wants to sell that business.
Susie better has some delicious cupcakes.
Well, but if she sells the business and she leaves, and she's the only one that knows how to make it, and they only come in because they like Susie, you've got a business with no value. And so the concept is that you better have a business that's not all about you, that you could take off for months and the business would still run without you, ideally. And it is something that strategically you can make decisions along the way as you're growing your business to try and get to that point, and only then will you not be personally controlled by your business.
Right.
What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, it sounds to me like a lot like number one, and you smart people just wanted to have another bullet point so you look smart.
A lot like number one. Number one was financial performance.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the one with key employees and all that? It was number.
Okay.
Okay.
Good point, Joe.
Okay.
Good point.
You were getting ready to make fun of me, but now
that's because an employee is not the business owner. So this is separate because well, you even understand it's separate because it takes different kind of effort.
Sure.
It's one thing to have an employee that's key. It's another thing to be the key yourself as the owner.
Well, look, here's the reality. Probably 20% of the businesses that ask me to help them, I'm positive that if we were to pull them out of the business, that the business would change materially. It'll be a material change. And what we try and do is work with owners and make sure that transition is a slow period of time so that transition can happen. For example,
it's not something you can do in the last 6 months.
That's
once
correct.
You decide to sell.
That's correct. I sold a Ferrucci's Italian Market, which is in Cornelius. Well, they've been around 15 years. Tony's been behind that counter for 15 years. When you walked in there, Tony was there to greet you with his New York attitude, right? You actually looked forward to that, right?
Yeah.
Well, what Tony had to do, because it was all about Tony, was stay there for almost a year and slowly transition the new owner in so that the owner was comfortable, he was getting the full value, and that he could work with all the clients and the customers. So the less you plug yourself in when it is time to sell, the quicker you can get out when you're ready to get out. If not, we can sell it. It just takes a longer period of time. That transition's got to be better.